Long ball number 3 here on Wednesday, March 26th. United States women's national team roster for April games has been rolled out. And probably the big headline from it, Trinity Rodman, the American superstar, back in the lineup. USA will face Brazil on April 5th at SoFi. I think SoFi is becoming a theater of nightmares. And then April 8th at PayPal Park against Brazil as well. So 2 games in early April coming up, and Trinity Rodman back in the lineup.
Yeah, look, they're friendlies. I mean, when it comes to the U.S. women's national team, friendlies still exist, first of all. The United States men's national team can barely play friendlies. They do have Turkey and Switzerland ahead of the Gold Cup this summer, so that's something to look forward to, I guess. But Brazil is obviously a challenge and a good team, and so these will be interesting. But like you said, it's the story of Trinity Rodman coming back into the team. First time since the Olympics. She was dealing with the back stuff. She obviously helped the Spirit make a final in the NWSL last season, which ultimately they were unable to triumph in. I think elsewhere here, you got a couple of new faces, players with no caps or limited caps. Valentulis Joyce, who's playing goalkeeper for Manchester United these days, is uncapped. Avery Patterson of the Houston Dash, he's also uncapped. I'm scanning here. You have Claire Hutton, who has 1 cap. I mean, still very new to this team. Michelle Cooper, who's only got 2 caps from the current. She's in the team as well. I'm again, continuing development of Catarina Macario's role in this team under Emma Hayes, because she was obviously injured and missed out on some big moments. Is she going to be a key figure going into the World Cup in 2027? I think that's something. We talked about Ali Sentnor. I think we both are very high on her. She's been fun to watch. Make her way into this team from the Utah Royals. Note about Lindsay Heaps. If you're like, who's Lindsay Heaps? That's Lindsay Horan. Her husband is Tyler Heaps, who is the sporting director of San Diego FC. And she's obviously a major part of this team. That midfield there. I like Lindsay, but feels like maybe the window is starting to close on her. Will it close before the World Cup is a big question. So Hutton, Jaden Shaw, obviously, who has 24 caps already, but still feels pretty new, maybe has a chance. Lily Johannes is the teenager from Ajax. She did get a little bit of a run in the She Believes Cup, and we'll see if she gets more time on the field in this tournament. I mean, in these friendlies, excuse me.
Yeah, your point about Lindsay Heaps, formerly Lindsay Horan. Do you think that replacing her will be kind of like as uncomfortable as replacing Julie Earps was in the midfield? Because I mean, she was just the anchor there, and every time that she was kind of moved on, they had a hard time. Do you think Lindsay Horan has that sort of weight to her?
Julie Ertz was a specific kind of player who played a specific kind of role. Julie Ertz, you want to compare? You want to parallel? Julie Ertz is a player who, because of the role that she played in the team, it was very difficult to replace her. So think of Manchester City losing Rodri, right? That's the Julie Ertz comparison. When the U.S. lost Julie Ertz, didn't have her, that was like Manchester City losing Rodri. They just were a different team. They were she was a safety blanket as a defensive midfielder. And obviously, over her career, played in a couple of different positions. But as a defensive midfielder, in particular, she was a cheat code in a way that nobody else could play that role. So that was, and I don't think Lindsay Heaps, because there are players here. There are players in the pool who are not included in this team through injury or whatever else reasons. I mean, timing, those kind of things, all of that stuff kind of comes to the table here. This is an opportunity for Emma Hayes to deepen the player pool. But Roosevelt's not in the midfield here. Now, maybe you think Roosevelt's time is coming to an end as well, like alongside Lindsay Heaps. Maybe that's what your thinking is. But we've been so used to seeing Roosevelt be the creative player in that midfield. Is it going to be interesting to see her be replaced by a Jaden Shaw or someone like that? Sam Coffey, Corbin Albert, more of your defensive midfield, holding midfielder options. So again, some wrinkles here that should make this intriguing.
Looking at absentees, it should be noted that the $1 million player is not here. Naomi Girma, still injured, has only
Yeah.
played 59 minutes for Chelsea, injured in her debut after that record-breaking signing. And, since she was the standout light of the last World Cup, obviously a huge part of the Olympic winning team, got that, record-breaking move, unable to really make a mark due to injury there. Is there any players in here that you're like, I really want to see how they're doing? To be honest, in my opinion, Macario. I want to see what she looks like because
Yeah.
there was a big gap between, seeing her. And I was actually surprised. Maybe it's just working back into fitness or the injuries had an effect, but Macario didn't quite seem like her previous first run with the national team. She just seemed to have the pop and acceleration and athleticism on a whole nother level. Didn't quite seem that way when we saw her in She Believes. Is that me just kind of having selective memory, or did you see something like that too?
Oh no, I mean, whether she is everything she was going to be before injury, I think is unclear. I think she's probably still talented enough to be in this pool, and we shall see. Listed as a forward, how will she play? She's played in midfield too. And, what we saw with Yunus Musa, you can be listed in a player group, in a position group, and have it not necessarily mean a whole lot. That's why I didn't get too excited about that thing. I mean, obviously this forward group is a forward group in a 3-forward system with a center forward and two wider players, as is very modern, right? Trinity Rodman unlikely to play through the middle most of the time. Ashley Hatch would. I'm curious about Michelle Cooper and what she can bring to the table. Again, new face, only 2 caps, player out of Michigan who went to Duke and has been a pro for just a couple years, so 22 years old, right? We're starting to get adjusted to the idea that there are going to be teenagers in the U.S. women's national team, like a Lily Johannes, right? Like these players are achingly young by women's soccer standards, at least for us. And the rest of the world has kind of already done that work. I mean, Alyssa Thompson just became 20, just turned 20 years old not that long ago. But there will be players who play college soccer and then become pros and are still pretty new pros when Emma Hayes taps them on the shoulder and says, "Come play for the U.S. Women's National Team."
United States women's national team return action April 5th and then again April 8th against Brazil. If you have not hit the subscribe button yet, gang, do so now. MK Ultras, we're growing. Morning Kick Around on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and tell your friends and folks to do so too. We are working our way towards 5,000 subscribers, so help us get there. Follow along on social media at MKickaround on X, Instagram, and the Blue Sky. Or write us a note, morningkickaround@gmail.com. And if you're able to help us grow, money helps, and you can do so at Ko-Fi or coffee.com/morningkickaround. Something one time, something regularly scheduled, small or big, everything helps keep this sustainable and help us grow Morning Kick Around.